welcome to the Tapped Out Wrestling Podcast. I'm Nick McDaniel. He's Myron Fancher. How the heck are you, buddy?
I am terrific, Nick. I am terrific. Recording podcast and talking like we always do. It's been a great evening, and it's been a great week for wrestling, man. Great weekend.
Good, bad, and different. Yeah, big weekend. A whole lot of chatter across the board everywhere. But before we get started, we always want to remind you guys, it's actually coming up as of tomorrow. Tomorrow, folks. I'll be getting ready to mail out something special this month. And, of course, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you were a member of the Patreon, patreon.com/tappedoutpod, at the $25 level, you get those 8.5 by 11s. Those are autographed. You get a real copy of it. If you're the $10 level, you get the digital copy. And, of course, $5 level, so you're going to get all the weekly content early and often. And, of course, the dollar level, we even let you, man, we'll just throw in those show notes for you at the dollar level, just to be a cool way to help support the show behind the scenes. And last but not least, man, everything. It's all included. That's the best thing to tell you, man. It's all that. It's all included for you. But again, hey, some people are YouTube watchers, Myron. Apparently, that's what they tell me. A few people watch us every week on YouTube.
Well, I can't blame them. I get better looking each day, I think.
Baby Huey over there says, subscribe to the channel and turn your notification bell on, so that way you get, all the notifications when we're dropping these episodes, because lately our work schedules have been a little wacky, and so the times have been thrown off. We apologize to the Patreon members. We apologize to anybody. We do our best to keep it on cue and on schedule. But life gets in the way sometimes. Sometimes you're just you're babysitting grandkids, and it kind of throws the schedule off.
Or you don't have a car because yours has to get a new engine put in it.
Right? It's always something.
We're no Conrad Thompsons.
We're busy. I feel like I'm busy like him sometimes. Speaking of which, when we get off the air, ask me something, and now we said we were going to do it between the recording of the last one and this one, and totally forgot. And but it's been interesting.
Recording of the last one and this one?
It didn't feel like it. We changed scenes on the screens, bam, and we rolled right into the next one. Look, speaking of rolling into the next one, that's all about money. Let's see. I'm curious today. I want to have it in front of me. TKO's dropped to $201 and some change, as of recording.
Now, when you got your stock, remind me what it was worth.
It was just over $13 a share.
And it's at
201 and some change.
Yeah, years ago when we started fooling around with Robinhood and investing, it was like $70 a share. And I'm like, I can't take that risk. And I sold all mine, cashed it out, and spent the money on something.
Yeah.
$200
dinner.
a share.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably fed my family.
Why are we talking about stock prices? Why are we talking about, because listen, honestly, we're going to have a lot of conversation. By the way, let's go ahead and preface. As you disagree, because you're going to disagree with a lot of things I say today. I honestly feel most people will. I'm not doing it as a hot take, and I don't intend it to be. I wish more people just saw it this way. tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Just send the emails. It's okay. I'm ready. We're talking about stock prices because a lot of people are saying, like, that is all TKO is concerned about. The big news, let's get the big one out of the way first, right? Saudi, WrestleMania, 2027. We're going to get into these numbers that are rumored here in a minute, because I will tell you this. These numbers are bananas.
Well, how much did WWE have to pay for that big Coliseum for the show?
Which one?
The one over in Saudi. How much they got to pay the Saudis for the building?
They don't.
They don't?
No. So, give you a ballpark idea. I was listening to a podcast and they threw out some numbers, and I'm assuming they were correct in their numbers. It's somebody that I would generally say they're pretty accurate most of the time with their figures. Apparently, they're paying $50 million for the regular shows that they've been doing in Saudi Arabia. Crown Jewels, King of the Rings, those kind of stuff. Not a bad payday. Well, it's come out rumoredly that they're paying in the neighborhood of $100 plus for the Rumble.
2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, reasonable.
But Mania, they're talking like $250 plus. That's insane.
So you don't have to rent the building. Only thing I'm really curious about is the tickets. Is Green Shirt Guy going to be there? Is he going to be able to buy a ticket, or do you have to be a Saudi to get a ticket, or?
That's the intriguing part is we still haven't heard. I think there's a lot of assumption that there will be some tickets on sale. Saudis never sold tickets to their show. They've always just bought them and gave the tickets to the citizens. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't know that they will or they won't. It's really, really interesting. Had another friend of the show reach out to me, by the way, and said there's actually some bonus percentages in tourism and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that would lead me to believe they are going to allow some people to come in and buy tickets and things like that. So I don't really know.
Well, I'm sure they got places for the indie shows to set up all around WrestleMania and that stuff to run.
Well, we're going to put a button on the what we were just talking about, and now let's segue into that, because that was another interesting thing that came up. WrestleMania for a long time has been a big, week/weekend of indie shows. They go down, they run around it, and they do all that kind of stuff, just because of the sheer drawing power of WrestleMania week.
NXT.
But I meant like, all these indie shows would go down there and run. That's not going to happen. So what happens to WrestleMania week? When all these indie shows normally run, and they're just not going to happen. Any other conventions that tried to piggyback around it and all that kind of stuff, not going to happen. Now, that's a whole other creature. And now, by the way, if you want my hot take on that one, that is one of AEW's biggest opportunities. They could turn All In, All Out, whatever.
Yes.
Weekend that's the one that we do it. We do a whole, because think about it. If they did Dynamite, Rampage, or Dynamite Collision, Ring of Honor shows, they could do indie shows all around it. They're already partnering. They do these Action Dean shows, the Dean shows. Yeah. Then they run the pay-per-view. I'm like, you could really essentially make All In / All Out, whatever, that be the new WrestleMania weekend, and take advantage of it.
Do it here in Atlanta too. There's all kind of places you could run shows. It would be terrific. Imagine the center stage shows that could run.
You got to come up with a big venue. That's it. It's like, because they ran the stadium at the last one. The All In that they ran here, their new stadium show. So we'll see. There is a cheap one probably over at Georgia State's football field or something like that. Might be an option. Just saying. It's an outdoor show though. But anyway, so back to the the numbers thing. I think it all boils down to that. A lot of people just lose sight of. Let's back up. Let's go to the biggest bubble on the whole situation. Everybody, is chanting, "You sold out." They don't like the video. They don't like the decision to move it to. So my question is do you not like it? Just walking a fine line for things we don't talk about on this one, Myron. So be careful. I'm trying to dodge the landmines myself. Do you not like that they took it out of the North America, because they've done Toronto before? So North America, Canada, U.S. Or do you, because what if they took it to London or Paris? Would you have been happy?
See, that's the thing. Outside for the people running indie shows, I don't think it matters.
No. We're past that topic.
If it was in London.
I'm talking the fans.
Well, the fans are the only people. Well, let's just ask the fans. Were you going? How many fans were going? Your average fan, were you going to WrestleMania week? Were you going to buy some tickets? Were you going to show up at indie shows? The only people that really should be upset are the people that were going to have shows and sales and conventions and stuff around it. Your average fan won't notice a difference because you weren't going to buy a ticket anyway.
I agree on that. We'll come back to the ticket price thing. We'll come back to that because my other big complaint, what I'm asking specifically is the you sold out chance because they're taking it to Saudi Arabia. During Worlds Collide, they aired the video package that they announced that it was going to Saudi Arabia. The fans chant you sold out. Apparently, I guess it was at one of the other shows, same thing. People in the comments on YouTube, you sold out, you sold out. I was watching the announcement on YouTube. Here's are you angry that it's going to Saudi Arabia? Are you angry that it's going out of North America? Like, what exactly are we? And listen, both answers are your answer, and that's okay. But it's still the question beholds of what are you mad about?
How can you sell out except sell out your tickets and sell out your arena? This is a public company, okay? That would be like playing the Super Bowl somewhere else besides America. They're going to eventually do that, folks. Let's be real, okay?
So here's I disagree with the Super Bowl, and I'll tell you why. I don't know. NFL football is so predominantly American. I would argue there might be more people would travel to it in a foreign country. Like if it was held in London, I think a lot of Americans would fly to London to watch it because people don't wrap their head around the Super Bowl tickets. They're already sold. Like most of them are sold. They're corporate boxes. There's all these different ways you can get one, yes, but it's a little more. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples. The larger issue is they've been in business with Saudi for 5 years now.
Something like that, yeah.
Here's the hard truth. If you've been watching the WWE for the last 5 years and they've already been going to Saudi Arabia, I don't understand. Like, what drew the line? Because they took your WrestleMania away?
But you weren't going anyway.
You can't. I'm talking about the moral police that are like, oh, and I'm not saying I agree with politics. I'm just saying if you're saying it's the blood money from Saudi and it's this, that, and the other. And my argument is, but if you've been watching for the last 5 years, like, is it your WrestleMania is where you drew the line? Because they've already been running shows there.
You can't attach morality to professional wrestling.
No, you can.
No, it doesn't. You can't make moral judgments about how things are handled in professional wrestling. Is its own unique thing, Nick. It doesn't go where the money is.
No, here's my argument.
Go where the money
if you had a problem today or 2 days ago, whatever, when they announced they were going to Saudi Arabia with WrestleMania, and you started, I'm never watching it or whatever, that's fine. I'm not saying you have every right to that opinion, and I'm not saying that. But when they did the Rumble, you didn't stop. But when they done the last 5 years of PLEs there, you didn't stop. Is it just because it's the loudest way to make the noise is because it's WrestleMania? Now you're going to draw the line?
People always want to talk about stuff, and Triple H has made it very clear he does not care about internet chatter. Okay? Folks, get over it. There's worse things in the world to worry about. Find something important besides where they have wrestling shows, and then worry about that.
Look, the numbers were huge, Myron. The thumbs down and all that, on the YouTube, clips and stuff for the announcement, massive. You know why? I had somebody make a joke. This is not going to go over well. He was like, do you know why all the people were giving the thumbs down and there weren't a whole lot of people that were giving the thumbs up to the like? Because anybody that was going to go to the Royal Rumble, well, this is a bad example, but generally, when we're going to get into these other topics about prices and the streaming deals or whatever, he's like, yeah, the guy who's doing the ESPN bundle without complaining, yeah, he was too busy at work that day to actually be arguing about it.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I didn't want to say that, but you're probably right. because I got to work to pay for that ESPN bundle for hell's sake. It's not going to bother me where they run it. I wasn't going. Okay. They have a business model that's working and giving you some of the best WWE programming you've ever seen, and yet you can't be happy with it.
One of my biggest beefs with it, Myron, I think we probably touched on this. By the way, the shows blur together at this, folks, though, so if I'm repeating something that I said last week, I do apologize. Everybody was already complaining about the ticket prices, and they didn't want to go. They were complaining about this upcoming WrestleMania. So they're like, okay, so we'll just take this pressure off of ourselves. We'll go somewhere where we don't have to worry about selling the tickets, and they don't have to worry about it because they're not going to buy the tickets anyway.
Exactly. But I mean, I don't mean to break the kayfabe. We were just watching some clips from NXT that was going on while we were recording here tonight. And as good as the news that was coming out, there were people, well, you know that. Where's Mercedes Moné? There's going to be somebody that bitches about whatever they do. Get over it. It's professional wrestling. Go watch something else.
By the way, great opportunity, by the way, for AEW right now.
Yes.
To take advantage and grab some of that base. And because, look, now let's get into with the ticket prices, the streaming deals, look, Vince, the comment that Mark Shapiro makes that Vince McMahon, he was pricing it to keep families in there. And somebody in the comment, by the way, great line. Somebody in the comments made the, sorry, I'm still laughing about it. Who would have ever thought that this guy made Vince McMahon the good guy in this angle? That Vince was actually always looking out for the families and the taking the kids to the shows and stuff like that. But they're there to maximize the profits. It is what it is, folks. That's what happens. We've discussed it. That's what happens when you're a publicly traded company.
The market bears. This is how I hate to break down financial stuff because God knows I've been bankrupt once and I don't know how to run money. But I will tell you, as someone who's worked in the business world, prices will increase on anything until you stop buying it. When you stop buying it, it'll stop increasing. Okay, so they're going to run these ticket prices up till they quit selling them. And then they're going to really have to quit selling them because they've already making more money. We talk about this in indie shows. Indie show charges $10 to get in a seat. They draw 200 people. They charge $15 to get in. They draw 150 people. Is there that big a difference? You're not drawing as many people, but aren't you making more money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
my argument, by the way, from a business perspective is raise your ticket prices, then do vet ticks to offset it with a charitable donation, and therefore you actually come out to the better. Sorry.
He's not wrong. But raise your prices. See what we're going to sit around and not make money. They have shareholders they have to make happy. Sorry, folks. It's a publicly traded company.
Okay.
You have to make your shareholders happy so they keep their shares. Because what was the dividend now this time, Nick?
Oh, they just doubled it. It was like 76 cents a share.
Okay. So they doubled the dividend. Okay. So I hate to sound like a dick here, but we're complaining about them making money because they're supposed to keep wrestling ours. We possess wrestling.
Look, they are making WWE in that perspective more like the UFC. That is their job. And it was funny to hear Jeff Jarrett's take on it was, but did Mark Shapiro just said Vince did a great job, but he didn't run it very well as far as making money goes, and that's what we're going to do. That's the take.
It's working for them. More people are watching.
So
more engagement, more investors.
And look, I want to add one thing. I want to add one thing before we move on about the streaming deals, the ESPN bundle. I told everybody I would update when I figured it out. I did figure it out. If you're a person who has DirecTV Stream and you never look at your bill, it just automatically charges every month on your credit card and you never log in and look at your account. I would highly encourage you to go log into your account because I was doing a favor for somebody. I'm not getting into the who's in the house. And we logged into their account, and lo and behold, right above the package that they have offered, it had a link. It said, activate your ESPN app. Activate your Disney Hulu app. So if you have DirecTV Stream and you never look at it, because this person said, I never got an email about that. You said I might get an email. So I said, I'll go look for you. And found it. Just go check. You might have it, and you might could get it for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, just saying. So, unfortunately, folks, it is about the money. It is about streaming deals. It is about ticket prices. And speaking of streaming deals, Myron, this weekend,
we get our first one.
It's finally here. We're going to watch. First question I ask. I'm going to be negative right out of the gate. Do they crash the app?
We're going to find out what it bears. But then again, they've been running professional sports on it. So
I used it. I used it for college football on Saturday. I used it. I had the 4-way grid up. I had like 4 games going on at the same time, watching the 4. It's really cool.
I'm not worried about that. It's ESPN, for Christ's sakes. But they're going to sink everything they can into this card for sell you for the first card. Now, the only match I'm not super excited for is Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, because that came out of left field to me. But the rest of the card is great, and I'm sure you're probably going to get something else happen on this card. But could they build Io Sky right now anymore for a match? She's nonstop on television getting prepared for this.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer was on NXT tonight. She's on TV all the time. Super popular star. The mixed tag team match, good Lord, they brought AJ Lee out of retirement. They're fixing this to be your big show. Brock Lesnar, who can't talk on a microphone, please just let him just stand there and hit people. Bring Paul back for him or something.
I have times where I like Brock. I think Brock can be entertaining at times. I preferred the. I like him the back and forth with him in the R-Truth. I do, that
was funny, but I just don't like the way his voice sounds. It doesn't sound like it should be coming out of him. Now I wear these Lee Extreme Fit Action jeans. They make them for fat guys. Maybe Brock. Maybe they make one in your size, but I recommend them because I can squat down and twerk in these things, and they never break. So Lee Extreme Fit. Okay, look into it, Brock. I don't need to see the ad.
Clips available on patreon.com/tapped-out-pie. Let's run through it a little bit here real quick. Let's just start. I'm going to go all out of order, so keep up with me as best as we can. The Usos versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Are we ready? Is this the match? Because here's the tease. We all assumed that they were going to put the Usos and Roman back together, and that would be the War Games match at Survivor Series. Well, now after hearing the little bit, we're going to cover another maybe next week. Literally, NXT's going as we're recording, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what's going on as far as this whole drop of the War Games maybe between Shawn and Triple H. Read the review for later and on the Patreon, guys. So if that were to occur, let's just hypothetically say the Bloodline Usos, none of that has anything to do with War Games. Are they ready to pull the trigger on Jay already? Because even on Raw, they're teasing he's going dark. He's going tribal chief wannabe, he wants to be the one.
Well, is Jimmy going to save him, or is Jimmy going to make it worse? Because Jimmy wasn't agreeing with him. I wasn't seeing Jimmy as being I'm really confused. Does LA Knight show up at this? Is he going to be there? Is he going to help Jimmy? What does Jay turn? Can he join the Vision? Is that what they call that?
I don't think he's going to. Ooh, that's one I hadn't even thought about.
With Paul. I don't know what they're doing. This is something that really has me wanting to watch this pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They did something, hooked me. Got me right here. Got me want to watch this with the whole Jay story right now. Best thing they've done with Jay so far, in my opinion.
I appreciate the full circle storytelling. I'm curious to see where it goes in the future. I would not do it this night, maybe down the road, but not yet. CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I'm all in. I was there for her, the return. They had a sucked in. Great, by the way, great segment on Raw, I would have to say. She's just a Puerto Rican chick from New Jersey, so she'll shank a chick. That was a good line. I'm curious to see. Here's the thing. The curiosity is this. CM Punk's not the best wrestler in the world in the ring, in my opinion, anymore. Obviously. He's older. He's probably lost a step. That doesn't mean he's still not one of the best wrestlers, sports entertainers, and go for that. I'm eager to see how AJ Lee is, how much ring rust is, on. She hasn't been in the WWE ring in a decade. So curious to see. But we'll tell. Io Sky, Stephanie McClure, they're not going to pull. You're the big women's wrestling expert here on the show. They're not going to pull the trigger on Stephanie, are they?
They may, because all this stuff. One, they're going to justify it by doing the whole Kabuki Warrior interference thing, most likely. Bakar is ready. This is going to probably be one of the best women's wrestling matches you'll see all year. Two of the best technical women's wrestlers there are in the world right now.
That part I do agree with. I just don't know that. But here's the thing. Stephanie McCure's, she's as ready as, from a character perspective, she's as ready as Io Sky was.
Yes.
So maybe you do pull the trigger on it. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Cody needs to start racking up some wins. Hopefully that's what this is.
They needed Cody for ESPN. They had to have some for him wrestle. I don't know why Drew wants his ass. That part disturbed me.
Yeah, a little disturbing. Obviously the headliner, the main event. I know they've announced it. I didn't even read it because I just assumed at this point it's got to be John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, they announced that.
Tell me why, or justify to me how you have a Brock Lesnar win. I mean, I have the answer, I think, but I want to hear you. If you're pitching yourself who wins this match, do you have a logic in your head that why Brock Lesnar wins this match?
Man, that Cena promo was dynamite. That Cena promo was the Brock Lesnar promo was dynamite. If Brock Lesnar wins, it would be only to build for a comeback. But Cena doesn't have a lot of days left for a comeback run to try to get the back, forth. I want Cena to win because I'm back in, you didn't wear your stuff, Nick. Do you have your wristbands on at least?
I don't have anything on tonight.
You don't have your towel hanging down? Okay. Are you Team Brock Lesnar then, Nick? Because I wanted the doctor. I wanted the doctor of Podonomics in here telling me about how Cena was going to win this match, Nick.
So I do think Cena wins. I think all of the logical choices are at Cena wins. Here's the logic of Brock winning. How do you get there if you have Brock win? One, it's just Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar's like, I don't want to lose. I just want to win. And they're like, okay, whatever, and they'll let Brock win. No, I'm kidding. The other logic is if Brock is locked in for a while, like they're just kind of like, Cena's gone in a couple months, Brock's here, he'll have the big win over Cena and kind of move forward. Does that make sense? Like I like
Cena's going to put him over.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Cena's going to put him over to start a Brock run right now. Yeah, I'm not really believing Brock's going to come over and start a run right now.
Now, I don't like it, but I'm just saying if that's the logic that you're trying to go with, I understand, if that makes any sense.
If that's what they want to do, that'll be the way to do it, but don't let Cena win. Continue to keep Cena. I get my Cena, I'm sorry, folks. I've been marking out. The harder I go this year, the longer the year goes. I have my little John Cena right here. I also have my John Cena Christmas ornament right here. And then I have this light up necklace about John Cena right here because I've been enjoying the John Cena thing, Nick. So you can't let him lose.
You're talking to a guy who drove to Chicago to see him. I mean, I get it. I think John Cena wins, but that's, that is what it is. So that's your card, as far as it loaded out right now. I think that's, a pretty loaded card. I think ESPN will be pretty happy. It's just kind of a test pilot to have something, and it's just like most UFC cards, it's loaded at the top.
Yeah.
It's top heavy.
What football is going to be running at the same time, though?
We did this. We looked at this up, because
This is what there's going to be your biggest competition is what football is running at the same time.
I thought we looked, and I remembered it being nothing really as much as we thought. Like, there are some games, and somebody's going to come on here and try to tell me, Georgia
Alabama's a big game. I can't wait for that one. But can I use the 4-screen thing to watch Georgia, Alabama, and?
It depends on what channel it's on. Wait a minute, it's that game's not.
Scores. Where's
no, I'm on it. There's this is great podcasting.
Yes.
I don't have that game. When did they don't play Saturday, right?
Who? NCAA football. Saturday at what is a 7:00 kickoff?
Georgia who?
Oh, sorry. That's Tennessee's playing UAB. Good luck, Tennessee. Oregon is a 10:00 bell, a 7:00 bell time.
I'm just telling you, like, Florida, Miami is going to be your big competitor. Indiana and Illinois are they're decent, like at least rank. That's it. Florida, Miami is your competition, to be honest with you. That's
State USC doesn't come on until 11. So yeah, I mean it's not an evening games day. So
no, it's not. So I mean, there's your window. Your big game is Miami, Florida. I think they're going to do well. And the reason I said that is these ESPN games and stuff that you see on here, the ABC games, ACC Network, SEC Network games, put those in the 4 box with the pay-per-view. You're good to go, man. It's kind of a cool little thing. So
that sounds crazy big.
Yeah, so check it out. I mean, we're excited for it. Other big news for the weekend, man. Dominic Mysterio. He wins, the big mega championship down at AAA at Worlds Collide. Becomes the first ever, simultaneous holder of a WWE title and a AAA title. That's their words. I don't know the history of it. Not claiming that it's 100% accurate. That's the story that I was fed by WWE, so I took it. Yeah, exactly.
Paul posts, I go with too. That kid is killing it. This is theoretically what would have happened if Eddie would have stayed around forever. Okay, this is the Eddie of this era. It was a good show. A lot of stuff I don't understand, but it's not for me 100%. I think Dom is in a position now to continue to get better and continue to become a bigger and bigger champion. This also gets more AAA exposure on WETV. So I think it helps them all together. What do you think? Where do you think he's going to go?
So, couple things. I kind of felt with the way the crowd reactions were going at the last show, they're probably going to pull the trigger on this and do this.
Yeah. Well, they weren't behind Vikingo. Apparently, the reason they weren't behind Vikingo was because they were all behind Alberto Del Rio. He was huge. And the fact that Vikingo took the belt off of him offended the fans. So they're going to take the most popular second guy, Dom, let him win the belt. It makes everything popular. The WWE buyout looks popular all of a sudden again now. So
if you want, here's the thing. So they were cheering Dom, which I don't think they want, obviously. The way you do it is you put that title on Dom and Alberto returns to challenge Dom.
Yeah.
Then they will hate Dom.
Beautiful public relations move, whatever it was.
The irony, I thought, by the way, kudos and spectacular job to maintain all of the stories between him and his father.
Yep.
Yet managed to work his father putting the title on him in a bet, and it's kind of supposed to be like a a bad thing that he's doing it, but figuring out a way to let his dad be a part of that moment.
And then there's the El Grande Americano thing, and the people in their people in their faction getting mad about him hanging out with El Grande Americano. Judgment Day problem. That's a good angle. Works things back and forth. My favorite part of the night though was Natty and the Fabi Apache. I love this Natty personality, the one that goes to other places and just beats the hell out of people.
By the way, confirmed that she will have more appearances in AAA.
That is amazing. This heart, like, instead of being, Natty or Natalia with the pink hat and hanging around with what's her name, the skinny chick. This one that goes over,
they're all hanging out together. Yeah.
Okay, but when she goes to Mexico or she goes to Georgia, GCW, one of those other places, etc. Yeah. She becomes a badass. That gimmick, I really love it. It's Maxine Dupree's what name I was trying to get. I love this gimmick with her. So I'm having a lot of fun with this AAA thing, the Mr. Iguana and the Demonita thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like the whole thing so far. And seeing more Dom is never a bad thing. But we lost another luchador, apparently, recently from WWE. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
What happened? What happened to Andrade?
Where do we start? Andrade released. These are all reports. This is all rumors. This is all is what it is. It was a release. It wasn't a mutual parting of the ways. At one point, he was escorted out of a building. At one point, he just ghosted them and stopped answering phone calls. Listen, this has all been reported. This isn't news. We're not breaking news here. Andrade had a falling out with AAA. Dorian said didn't ever see him coming back. When he left WWE the first time, it was bumpy. He left. Goes to AEW. It was bumpy, and he left. He's back at WWE again. Bumpy, rocky situation. Supposedly there was a failed wellness violation or 3 involved. Listen, I always tell, like, if there's always a girl who's dated a bunch of guys and she's always dated the wrong guy. Guys are just crazy guys, and after a while you're kind of like, if you've dated 10 dudes, you might want to ask yourself, are you the problem?
Well, it's like my dad. My dad was divorced, married 4 times. After, I'll give you one because I've been divorced. You've been divorced.
Happens.
I'll give you maybe 2. Around your 3rd divorce, you need to start asking yourself, is it my fault? If you're married 4 times and that marriage is rocky, it's your fault. And this might be Andrade's deal. He might be like my dad. He might just be a dick that drinks too much.
Listen, Jeff Jarrett on his podcast brought up, and I thought it was a good take. Look, he has put out a statement, Andrade, on social media, kind of like wanting to move forward in a positive way. Like, he's put it out there. That's all you can do. Look in the mirror, say, like, we're going to do, and I love Jeff Jarrett's philosophy. Look, a lot of it is about his addiction in his past, but you can attribute it to a lot of things in daily life.
Yeah.
He's like, look in the mirror, say, today I'm going to be the best me I can be.
Yeah.
Do that. Tomorrow, do it again. Like, just every day, and I'm going to try to be better tomorrow than I was today.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do that, that's about all you can do. Just legit put your best efforts every day. And, because nobody's ever questioned Andrade, right? When he's in the ring wrestling, he's great.
Yeah.
Figure out, like,
phenomenal civil engineer.
But you just got to fix a lot of the stuff that's, the issues fix the issues you can fix. That's it. It's really that simple, folks. It's just really that simple. Last but not least, we already talked about WrestlePalooza, blah, 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 all those other things. It's not the only PLE/pay-per-view of the weekend. AEW All Out in Toronto. Got some friends that are going to be there. Kind of cool. Hopefully they have a great time.
Awesome.
AEW World Championship will be on the line as Hangman Adam Page takes on Kyle Fletcher.
I pulled this up on my Macs. It's just right there. Click buy. I'm feeling I might buy this.
I'm feeling I might
watch it just to see how smooth the experience is. It's $40, which when you consider we were paying $60 in the 90s.
So I got to check this out. This is, by the way, this is a rumor. This is innuendo. I think I read it. I could have been a half a delusional. Like I dreamed it one night when I was laying there thinking about show notes and stuff before as I fell asleep. Here's the interesting take. I think you only have the replay for 6 months. I think they fall off.
There were details. There were details about how you have that. But how many wrestling shows you go back and watch again, Nick? Seriously.
You used to watch a lot of the old WWF pay-per-views on when they had the network and stuff?
Yeah, I did, but that's me. I'm an old man. The card, I got 2 matches I want to see on this card. No, 3. Sorry, 3. 3 matches I want to see on this card. The women's match with Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Thekla. That's going to be a really good match. The MJF left right after his wedding, didn't go on a honeymoon, went and interfered in Briscoe's match. So now we're going to get them and a stipulation to be announced match. I like the sound of that. That makes me happy. And then in Canada, we get Edge and Christian versus the Revival, or Adam Copeland and Christian versus FTR, whichever you want to call it. I think that's going to be amazing.
That'll be one of the big draws of the show. I'll be honest with you. It will be. Hurt Syndicate, the second they booted MJF, I think the story just went south for me. I think they've done a really good job with the Christian Adam Copeland. I'm going through the rest of them. It's ironic. We saw Darby Allin interject himself into a coffin match at the center stage, and now he's in a coffin match in one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year for AEW. Toni Storm is going to win. Monet's going to win. When it comes to the main title, the men's world championship, Nick's hot take of the show. Send your hate mail to tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Kyle Fletcher is a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal in-ring worker, whatever you want to call him. He's not ready to be a world champion by any stretch of the imagination. Hangman Page is the guy for now.
Well, they're high on Page right now, and the fans love Page. I've said it before, my whole problem with AEW is I'm not a match guy. I like a good match, but I can't just watch good matches. I need some meat and some story and why they're fighting.
Myron likes a good sizzle more than he likes the whole steak.
Yes. I like to get the fat off the edge too, where it's all greasy and got the meat. Yeah. And then I eat some of the meat. But yeah, and then I got some of that stuff I dip my roll in.
You like a show. Myron likes a show.
Myron,
listen, Myron is sports entertainment. Myron is not just pure pro wrestling per se. Listen, I'm not sure what show we're going to catch. We've bounced ideas around about, do we go to a show on Saturday, whether it's Premier All-Star or Georgia Premier. That's right. It's all Premier Saturday here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Or am I going to be loaded out on Thursday and Friday going to shows? And then there's always just seems like there's constantly shows. They never end, Myron. And then we got 2 shows on one day on a Saturday on our streamings.
Never an off-season professional wrestling.
Let me ask you, there's a hot take. Let's come back to that one. Before we get out of here, tappedoutpod@gmail.com. Would you be a fan of wrestling taking an off-season?
Me?
You personally, I'm asking. Nick from Houston wants to know if Myron would be down for an off-season in pro wrestling.
it's such a good excuse to not spend time with my family, and to go hang out with my friends. And sometimes I do get overwhelmed, though. Sometimes I get overwhelmed with the amount of wrestling on television and then the amount of wrestling we go to. It's way too much. But what would I do anyway? I would just sit here and play video games or have to watch, what do you call that? Project Runway with the wife. So I like wrestling. It is.
There are times I kind of wish there was, even if it was just a month, like a short window somewhere for everybody could kind of like rest up, heal up, or like maybe right after WrestleMania, they took a 3-week break or 4-week break or whatever, reset, come back and start the next season or something. I just do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would like to have one.
They'd build the heat again. I don't think they'd be able to build the heat again. I think they'd lose everything.
I would love to have a break. Take a little break of a window for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, you're the one that wants to record 3 shows now.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually had some conversations about shortening it to 2 again, believe it or not, today. I'll tell you that one off air. So, we would love to know, are you watching, tappedoutpod@gmail.com? Are you watching All Out? Are you watching WrestlePalooza? Heck, are you watching both? By the way, that's an acceptable answer. It's an encouraged answer to watch them both. It's okay. I think that we're going to learn a lot about wrestling fans, about I ain't buying that app. We're going to see some numbers because I'm guarantee you some numbers will come out and we'll find out, we'll see. But yeah, and again, Tapped Out Pod, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Saudi thing. It's not about the politics of it. I just am kind of like, it is what it is, man.
Can I have one thing in the world that's not involved in politics? No. Can I have my professional wrestling and you just keep your politics and everything else out of it?
Nope, you cannot. But, hey, look for the reports. It's, obviously we don't drop until a week from now. So we will actually tell you, check us out, patreon.com/tappedoutpod. The reviews are there regularly. I do got to catch the Raw one up. I ain't going to lie to you. Got that or whatever. But the reviews will be up for the pay-per-views, PLEs, the weekly shows, all that cool stuff, and all the bonus stuff we talked about at the beginning of the show. And, hey.
NXT stuff, too, is coming up. There's some great news coming up from NXT.
Yeah, that review will be up, hopefully, well, if you're listening to this, it'll be up prior to that, before it's up this episode. We'll have that one drop. Well, man, that was a pretty good little show there. We got a bunch of stuff jumped in there. Anything else before we get out of here?
Before we do get out of here, I want to say big shout out to Mr. Bill Butler, friend of the show. Thank you for your feedback. Always good to hear from friends and family. Thank you, Mr. Bill.
I agree. Anything else, man?
That's it.
What's the old saying, brother? If I've got nothing and you've got nothing, what time is it?
Time to tap out.